Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, and Dennis Dick with you this morning. We're going to talk rotation. We're going to talk tech. We're going to talk the banks. Alibaba, Novavax is your big mover of the morning. We got some earnings on our radar. ULTA, DOCU. We'll take questions from our chat. Two guests on the radar today. First up is we got our sponsor, Markus Heitkoetter, at 8:35, 8:35, somewhere in that window. And then Jason Raznick will be on at 8:45. Today's show is also sponsored by Rockwell Trading. Trade what you see, not what you think. To learn more, go to rockwelltrading.com/Benzinga. The link is up on the screen. Before I throw it to Joel, remind you to all hit that like button. Thank you very much. Joel, how are we doing this morning? Oh, no, we're on mute here. Let's unmute you. Can you unmute yourself? I'm not sure why that happened.
Good morning, traders and investors. We have a potential double top in the S&P 500 futures. We hit 59.25 back earlier in February, 58.5 today. Sold off into the close, had a little bit of continuation down to 10.25, but the buy to the dippers came in. We're at mid-range on the session. Old-time closing high from yesterday is 36.75. That is a big level. Crude in the red by 31 cents at 65.71. Gold, once again, flirting with the $1,700 level, down $19.70 at 1702.90. Silver losing 54 cents here at 25.65. And Bitcoin down a little bit, down $1,560 at 56,400. So Triple D coming to the end of the week. Rollovers kind of coming to an end. What are you seeing out there in the after hours and pre-market?
I'll buy the dip. I mean, this is what's happened ever since really it started. I would say it started more at 7 o'clock here. Just jumping over and, looking at the charts. You see a lot of brokerages that can't trade. You often see this when we're down significantly before 7 a.m. Eastern. You have a lot of brokers. Like, what time's Robinhood allow you to start trading?
9.
Does anybody know?
9 o'clock.
I know. Not till 9. There's a lot of retail brokers that don't allow trading before 7 a.m. So when you see a significantly dip, you have people like licking their chops. Oh, I want to buy stocks. I want to buy stocks. I want to buy stocks. And then all of a sudden they let them in at 7 a.m. And that's when Edge comes online. That's when you actually have some other exchanges come online too. And then you see the market, start to pick up. So I often, if I'm short stocks, I often like to get covered before 7 if we're having a big down day, because there's often some strength after that. So it's a funny market. This is, how, looking at little edges all the time like that. But if you're down big, really, it seems like the buyers start to come in as soon as 7 o'clock comes around. Wow, we're really rallying here, Joel.
Yeah, I know.
It's been a good trading morning, actually. Kind of textbook sell off overnight and then just kind of leaking back. Like, let's bring up the S&P charts here and just show the pre-market charts. So you can see what we're talking about.
We got a heck of a
looking
rally.
at a Bitcoin chart isn't helping us here.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, we right around 4
Look at this 7
a.m.
o'clock
too.
rally.
Yeah,
but look, okay, so we made the lows. We hung out there really for 3 hours, but look at it at 7 a.m. Look what I'm talking about. Point to the 7 a.m. When Edge comes on, you have a lot of retail brokers come online. That's right when the buying started again.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
So, that's just a tip going forward. If you guys are traders and you're looking at different, obviously different opportunities there, if you have access before 6:30, a lot of times you see buyers start to come in right at 7 o'clock.
And what about 4 a.m. too? 4 a.m. you had that spike down, and then you just kind of hung. You hung out there. This is a 15-minute chart. You hung out for a good hour or so. That's when the low. I've tried to track that, like when the overnight highs, and it's kind of inconsistent because sometimes you get a spike like at 8 o'clock, PM, that's a fade, that's when you shut down trading. So very hard. But this one in particular, yep, we did make that low. It was about 5:30, and then you see that 7 o'clock bump Dennis is talking about. Trying to get unchanged 36.75.
Jump over individual stories. You teased it off the bat. Alibaba, I guess, is going to be a storied stock today. It is down $6. I still have it in the long-term portfolio. Almost feel like rebuying the shares that I sold. Remember when I was spooked? I didn't know what was going on with Jack Ma, and I sold it right here. I could actually re-get my shares that I had sold when I was nervous about Jack Ma. Didn't know his whereabouts, and obviously didn't know. And it sounds to me like, well, give us the details here, Spencer, of the headline today.
Yeah, so this was part of this was actually out yesterday. They're being fined $975 million according to a report, and this is from the Wall Street Journal. And I don't know if it was out this morning or last night, but also other media outlets reporting that the CEO of Ant Financial is out the door as well.
So that's why the stock is down, is the CEO of Ant Financial being down. But I mean, getting past what this regulatory investigation is, it's got to be good news too. I don't know. I feel like Alibaba down here is a buy. I've kind of I've been all over the place with this one. I've obviously held half of my long-term position. Kind of want to get back in. I'm torn. Talk to me. I'm very torn. Chad, talk to me. Joel, talk to me. Should I or should I not rebuy my Alibaba shares that I sold when I thought Jack Ma was in trouble?
Do you want to buy it on weakness, or do you want to buy it on strength?
Always buy on weakness. This is 100% of the time when I'm investing, I usually am buying a dip. I might be buying in an uptrend, but I'm never buying when we're up $6. I'm buying when we're down $6. That's why I'm interested today, because you obviously have weakness.
Boom, boom, boom. I mean, I would really like to see you get at 231, 232, right? Because it fills that little gap there, and then you're banking on this 26.53 low, because it came down hard. You take your eyes off these things, and it had the big rebound off the off that 211 low or whatever, and it did the 50% retracement. I didn't leave it up there, but it was 265, and I can remember, and it just hung out there for a while. 265, 270, got over 270, and then just kind of petered out, really on its own. But yeah, get in that area. That's kind of looks like a little bit of a head and shoulders bottom there too. So maybe if you get it around 230 or whatever, even I know you like to give yourself some more room, but that's what I'd be looking at it. And then on the upside, I think if you get above 242, I think you get a nice move in this one to the upside.
Okay, continuing on. I'm very distracted this morning, so you guys are going to have to carry us. No, because everybody waits for me to lead the show here, but lots of positions. I've got my head on a swivel because I got a lot of overnights that I'm trying to work out of. Mostly S&P stocks usually, but as the markets move around, I'm moving around too. So lead the way, please.
Okay. All right, Mr. Israel, that's
I'm
your
here.
cue.
All right, let's talk about Novavax. This was your big mover in the after-hours session. Moving still this morning, though not as much. They had some COVID vaccine data out, and it was very good. They reported that the final efficacy against mild, moderate, and severe strains of COVID-19, the vaccine had a 96.4% efficacy rate. This is in a phase 3 trial in the UK. So that, again, is more effective than Johnson & Johnson, more effective than Moderna, and I'm blanking on the other one, guys. Help me out here.
Johnson & Johnson?
No, I said that. J&J, Moderna, Pfizer. Geez, Pfizer and BioNTech. So that's more effective than all three.
Wow. Wowzer. Boy, someone got real excited there. This would have been worth, this was after hours that this took place. And seems like this vaccine news is kind of I don't know. It's kind of fading a little bit, but boy, this 240 area just sticks out like a sore thumb. You had a high there. You got a lot of people caught, and that was a golden opportunity after this hit the all-time high at 330, 2-for-1 stock split, and then overnight you're getting halfway back. I don't think you get back up to that area. I think that was a gift. That was a gift rally. We're already 16 points off that, 237.42. I don't know if you have any daily highs in there, but boom, I think this one. I don't think you see that 237.42. I think you back and fill, and you got a long ways to go to get to the top of yesterday's range at 188.25. Spoos just hit mid-range there, and then some people said, okay, time to take some chips off the table. So like this 20, this is basis, I'm still talking March 1st, but the March contract is what I'm talking about.
I think rallies to be sold in Novavax. I've been bearish the stock for a while, and obviously I did not see the 150 to 300 rally coming. Yeah. So I'm not a fan. I still think, we're getting past COVID. How many more headlines can you just keep driving out of COVID? So I just think this is another headline to sell in the COVID front. So congratulations to the 240 sellers. I don't think it gets back there either.
And just take a look here. I mean, what did Pfizer? I mean, what did that drug do for them?
Yeah, but so we cannot compare Moderna, Novavax to Pfizer and Lilly and Merck because the COVID is all Novavax. Like this is their the company. I mean, what else does Novavax have, Spencer? Do they have anything else?
Oh,
they have any other like Moderna, Novavax?
You're right.
It's pretty much all COVID. Smaller companies like we know Pfizer, AstraZeneca. It's not moving the needle. Gilead, it didn't move the needle for those companies. You can't say the same for Novavax and Moderna because this is the bulk of the company right now. So I don't know like what else if they've got other drugs in the pipeline or anything like that. But I know you're talking very small market capitalization stocks compared to Pfizer.
Yeah,
Novavax has nothing. Looks like this is it.
Nothing. But I still think if you think we're getting past COVID and these Novavax and Moderna have been gifted, the returns that they have because of COVID. Once COVID's gone, I gotta think that this is not going to continue on its merry way higher. I mean, we were $3 before COVID started, and now you're 219. I mean, what do you want? You got it right. Hey, if you bought Novavax back at $10, $15, $20 when you thought this could be the COVID, you got paid. You got paid handsomely. I think 300's overshoot. I think 200's an overshoot. I think when the dust settles, Novavax is significantly under $100. But I said that a while ago, and then we had the spike to 300. So, I don't know the path to get there, but I just cannot put Novavax in the long-term portfolio. Yes, $12 billion valuation. It's not a huge company, and that's why, when you're comparing it to Pfizer, just comparatively, I was talking about the market caps. You're looking at Pfizer market cap of 194 billion. So, and a company that's one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. Novavax has helped us greatly with COVID. We love, the company for doing that, and Moderna as well. I just think the shareholders have already been rewarded substantially. And I think if you're still hanging on, I think, the better days for these stocks are behind them.
Yeah, and also if you think, Dennis is making a great point there. If you're thinking, there's a lot of people long lower, right? That are, if this thing falls to 200, they were long at, let's say 40. Oh, I missed 320. A lot of people are going to be willing to sell. And there's also people, bag holders, that got it on the way down. They're thinking, man, I can't wait till this gets back to 2.25. I'm going to scratch it. So a little different psychology, not blue skies ahead. Overhead resistance built into the market. And then the other thing I just want to point out on Pfizer, we don't talk about it that much, but that Albert, what's his name? Alvin Burra or Albert Burra, he dumped a boatload of stock. Remember that on November 9th? And that was the first vaccine Monday. He dumped a boat. Was it the night? Yeah, he dumped a bunch of stock right here, right on the open. And that was $5 ago. So you talk about a big insider sell on news. I mean, it ended up going higher to 43, but that 39 sale is not looking too bad for, I think it's Albert, right? Is that the guy's name?
I don't know. I'm sorry, but I do want to correct myself. I said that the The Novavax vaccine was more effective than all the other vaccines. I stand corrected there. According to the Israel Ministry of Health, the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, after the second dose, is 97% effective, according to
It's impressive. I mean,
evidence. So,
this for all these companies, putting the stock stuff aside, for what they've accomplished in such little time,
it's
to try to get us back to normal.
It breaks your brain to think about.
Yeah, just the people working there, I got to give it up for the Novavax, Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca. I mean, so many companies doing so much good to try to get us back to normal. So, moving the stock stuff aside, it's been unbelievable what they've accomplished.
Let's pivot here for a second. Chat's asking about Boeing. We do have some breaking news there. 777 Partners has ordered 24 737 MAX planes. That's according to Reuters. So Boeing is going up on a Friday.
All dips in Boeing to be bought, in my opinion. I bought it and I got spooked out because the market started rolling over a week and a half ago.
You bought that good.
I bought that really well. Yeah, I made money on it. I did well on it, but I sold out because I was like, I thought the market was going to roll over, and you know what? It did. But again, I do the same thing. I didn't rebuy it. So I thought about rebuying it, and I screwed up. So I had bought it at 212, and I sold it at 228 or 229 a couple days later because I thought the market was going to go into this ugly period. And wrong, the market pulled back significantly, but, we've now rallied all the way back. So I think you got to buy dips on Boeing. I do. I wish I was still long it. I shouldn't have sold it.
What was it, a swing or was your long?
I put it in the long-term portfolio, but I thought I could time it better.
Okay, all right.
So I just put it in 2 days early, and I was like, I don't like this market, and it rolled over. I thought I could time it better, and you know what? I missed it. I missed it on the rebuy. So try not to trade your long-term portfolio. I put that intentionally in the long-term portfolio because I thought the Boeing story was going to just have a lot of upside from here. And obviously it has. I got spooked on the market. It was total market sell. That I was spooked on everything to a certain extent. I didn't like that the cruise lines and the airlines had that really bad day the one day. That's what really spooked me. If you look like NCLH went from 34 down to 26, that day is oh, what's going on here? Cruise lines hammered, and obviously that was an offering, but airlines were hammered that day. I mean, look at the American Airlines went from 2150 down to the low of 1894. They've bounced right back. So I was spooked a little bit on the reopening trade. I second guessed myself, and I was like, okay, well, I can take a quick 14 points out of this. And I think I was wrong. I think I was too early. And you know what? The market spooked me, and I should have went with my initial instincts and held on.
You bought that on a down. It was a nice down day too. I don't know what the news
everything was. I buy in my long-term portfolio, Joel, is on a down day. I looked at all of my long-term holdings, and this isn't trading. This is investing. It is very, very, very rare for me to buy a stock when it is up on the day. I'm always buying the dip. It's like me. I buy this. I say it all the time. I buy the dip. My long-term investment portfolio, I'm looking at the days. What am I looking at today? Alibaba as a long-term, getting my shares back because it's down $6. So it's, what's worked for me and it's what works for the market a lot. I mean, buying the dip has worked. It's been one of the best strategies in this market forever. So I don't know, it doesn't work on every stock, but if you're looking at buying stuff, buying the rip or buying the dip, I'll choose the dip every single time.
I've been talking about this for a while. This thing has a date with 268. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but if you think about what the market has done on a relative basis, this hasn't even gotten back half of that move. Right, from 446 or whatever down to $89, and that line is just sticking out like a sore thumb to me. Get up there the first time, maybe hang out for a couple days, and then maybe get the dip, maybe the similar to what the Baba did. But it's just working its way back up there. If you're looking for a shorter term target, 58.46 is that spike high. You did leak a couple bucks off that to $2.5. So keep an eye on 58.46 for the interim. If they start to go into retreat mode, boy, we're right at yesterday's high. That's interesting. We're actually below yesterday's high. Yesterday's high was 56.65. So don't get too excited here. Let's see what happens at 56.65.
All right. It is 8:20. We're gonna have Markus Heitkoetter on in about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's just do some earnings, and then we'll make sure we get to some questions from our chat because I've got a few that I've written down here. Let's just start with like ULTA. Okay, they had earnings last night. Also, the CEO is, I guess, retiring or resigning. I'm not quite clear, but they're gonna have a new CEO. Dave Kimball, the president, is replacing Mary Dillon. They gave some guidance. I guess that their sales were down year over year. Is part of what the street hasn't liked about this report so far.
Yeah, well, what retailer, besides Amazon, there's not a lot of retailers that sales were up, like box retailers. The sales were up year over year. I mean, it was still a tough year. I mean, we've got by expectations and stuff, but I mean, overall, retailers had a rough year. If you weren't an online retailer, I don't know. Ulta maybe has some online, but I know they got a lot of stores too.
Yeah, they got a lot of stores.
Yeah, I'm torn here on Ulta. I mean, this is a stock that has been a relentless uptrend, so it's a natural stock for them to buy the dip on. I think you do find some dip buyers at 300. I just don't totally get it. I don't totally get like the story, and it's been a storied stock for a long time. I mean, really 2014, $80 stock and ripping up over 5 years to over 300. The problem is it got back to like the area, the old highs, and now it's failing there a little bit. I love buying dips. I just don't like this. I'm not a fan of the stock though. So
it's too close to the pre-market low to I think to be stepping in here. I mean, you did have an initial spike down to 307. You got a little bit of a bounce to 315, but a lot of people are stuck on this one. You're getting in an area here between 300 and 320 where there was just limited support. So I don't know if you're going to see 301.56, but I don't know. Just kind of a lot of people got caught. The monthlies were just telling you to keep an eye on 350 because it hung out there for a lot in 2019. Then it finally lost it with the markets. Actually, this was 19 it got killed. Then you had the COVID thing. So it's going to be a while before this gets back to the 350 area. As I said, pre-market low stands at 307.
And then DocuSign reported last night their EPS beat, their sales beat. They gave some guidance. Q1 sales guidance was above the estimate. Fiscal year sales guidance was also above the estimate. Doesn't matter.
They love this stock. though. They love this stock, and this is a stock that's probably going to get a dip buyer in it. The valuation is too extreme for me from an investing perspective, but as a trader, I think this is a dip that they buy. I like this dip better than the last one we just.
What about the reopening? I mean, people go back to signing documents in person and stuff.
No, they're not going back to that. Do you know how I just did two real estate, actually 1, 2. Yeah, I just did 2 real estate transactions in the last year. This DocuSign is awesome. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if there's competition coming, like there's going to be a better one there, but obviously they got the head start. But I tell you, man, nobody's going back to traditional. I got to go in and sign them. It's moved on. This DocuSign is awesome. The product itself is just amazing. That we can do real estate transactions. Like I did one from like 5 hours away. So I mean, it's unbelievable. You can do real estate action. You don't even have to be in the same city. So I love the product.
Just don't know.
It's always a valuation issue for me, but I still think the story is not going away even after COVID. They said this on Fast Money. Tim Seymour said it last night too. It's like this is the way stuff is being done now, and it's not going away after COVID. It's way easier. So I think you buy the dip on DocuSign.
Yeah, I'd like to see it between maybe between 205 and 210. I don't know if you're going to get that low because you had the shellacking right after the all-time high, and then it got under 200. Then you got that initial bounce. They got a little excited off the print. But now it's pulling back. You're assuming that 189 low is going to be there for a while. But give back a little bit of this move, buying it out of dip. So I'd be interested long term at this at 210 and maybe lean on that 189.
This be a Lisa pick? Would she be into this one? She don't mind valuation. She'll pay up for valuation.
I don't know.
I've always told a value guy, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't stomach it because it's just trading a ridiculous valuation. But I mean, those have been the stocks. Those have been the good ones, really. The ones you're paying up for the valuation, the Kathy stocks. Growth at any cost. You know, we say when it doesn't work, it's ugly. But man, it has worked for a long time. Growth at any cost.
You know, one interesting thing. I remember like when. And I haven't discussed this with her yet. Remember, like Peloton for a while, you know, there was such a back order and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
there still is, Joel. There still is.
Emily called. Emily wants one, and she called, and they're like, "Yeah, well," she called on like Tuesday. They said we'd be out on Sunday.
Okay, I stand
corrected. Oh, really?
Yeah. So
that's not good news.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
No, Dennis. It's not what you think. They've been like killing themselves trying to get through the back because it's not about demand lessening. It's about their supply chain getting better. That's what it is.
Okay, well, we hope that's the case as opposed to
yeah.
Oh yeah, we could get you one of those tomorrow. It's like, oh
yeah, no, I know.
no.
Yeah, I don't like it. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about this stock.
You've been wanting to celebrate.
You brought it up. All right, let's just do one more.
You're right.
Let's do like Funko, FNKO.
Funko.
Okay,
sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun. You're right. The EPS. Let's see if I can get some estimates here so I can give you that. If not, I'll just give you the numbers. FNKO. And my computer is deciding to not cooperate, so forget that. Okay.
What do they do?
EPS. Funko?
What does Funko do?
Toys.
What is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's toys.
Yeah, but what do they do? So toys. Like it's like Toys R Us, so it's like online toy sales. Like what does Funko actually sell?
It's like
I'm going to their site.
It's like they license like IP, so it's like Star Wars toys, right? Or like they'll sign a deal with Disney to like make Star Wars toys, or they'll sign a deal with like whoever owns the rights to Harry Potter and make Harry Potter toys. Right?
So they make the toys?
Yeah, they make the toys.
They're making the toys.
Yeah,
do they have like physical stores too, or no?
No, I don't think so.
I'm trying to look here.
No.
I'm on Funko. I got some crazy character animals.
I've never heard of a Funko store before.
Products. Wow. Okay, so I got some crazy looking horse, and then I got low stock on the Lion King, Pumbaa. Pumbaa.
In any case,
Scar is there. He's low stock.
He's
low stock on everything. They must be doing well. It's low stock on every single product they're selling. So that's a good news. We got back orders here on the Funko products.
That's just a marketing tactic. In any case, their earnings per share 29 cents, up from 18 cents a year ago. Sales of $226 million, up from $195 a year ago.
Stock's breaking out. I mean, it's got, it's coming back from the gutters of $3 back when nobody wanted to own anything in March. It's come back a long ways. I don't know. It's breaking out. I don't know anything about the company.
Yeah, it leaked $1 off its high, over $1 off its high.
I was actually long it, even if I don't know anything about it. I was actually long it yesterday because it was on my schedule to report. So I buy stocks ahead of the earnings, and it worked. I mean, it's ran up for 2 days. Again, that stupid strategy, the most simplistic strategy in the world. Oh, buy a stock 2 days before it reports, and it runs up for a day and a half before it reports. I mean, that doesn't always work. But man, it works a lot of times. Again, this one paid. So I sold it before the report because I don't want to take the the crapshoot of the report. But it went from 14 to 15.33 ahead of the report. So buying it 2 days ahead of the report, you made more than the people actually who held it through the report and you didn't take the risk of the report. That's the strategy that pays the bills.
1775. Is this a reverse stock split or something? Because I'm going back here. I see it 160 or something. I don't know. No. Anyways, you're $1 off the pre-market highs. So got to find an intermediate level. Even looks like someone's kind of stacked up. It's just over 17 here. Because after you made that high, every time 1710, 1720, I'd be looking there.
Okay, one more thing. More breaking news.
What do you got?
The shorts, we talked about how the short sellers were really quiet for a while. We hadn't heard much from the short sellers. Well, they're back. Okay, we've seen a few stocks get hit on short reports, like Clover, for example. Another one this morning, RIDE, RIDE. Hindenburg is out with a short report on RIDE.
Did they say if they're short?
Oh, that's a great question.
Reddit, get him, Reddit, get him.
Let's see. Let's see.
Sick 'em.
Are we actually short? Let me go into the report. Oh man. Oh,
Probably
man.
not. They're scared to say
yes. We have taken, after extensive research, we have taken a short position in shares of
Get him,
Lordstown
Reddit!
Motors.
Get him!
Let's start a thread right now, Dennis.
Yeah, let's go start a Reddit thread. Hit him, Eric. Sure. And the stock's down. We can rip these guys. Rip these guys apart.
These evil guys. We gotta go get them.
Evil short sellers. Anyway, they're winning. The short sellers are winning here.
Look at that. Look at it.
They're winning right now.
Rally as we speak right now. It just
no,
I hope
it's
everyone
falling.
knows we're
it's
being
going straight down.
15%
down. So there's a one big level right there. Stands out like a sore thumb. The 1490, the low from the washout low. What's it going to do there? It's testing it right now. Does it bounce?
Let's get in there. Let's get dirty.
I'm not getting in there and down and dirty. That 1490 is a big level. It's right there right now. That's a big level for the stock to hold. Again, crazy volume.
Go iceberg at 15. You can move this thing.
Yeah, I don't move stocks. It's not my job to move stocks. It's my job to look at charts and look at news and analyze it. And obviously, 1490 is the one level I looked at. Just took it out. 1470. This is why I don't catch falling knives.
Exactly.
1490 looked good, and I tried to catch a falling knife on GE yesterday too. Tried to be the hero and say, "Oh yeah, 1250. I like that level."
I can't believe you went out at 1250.
I said I like the 1250 level.
Yeah, but why did you? Come on,
why not? 15,
right there.
1250, 10. I'm too old. I'm back to the old optionality when we had only 2.5 contracts. I still think like that. 1250. Oh yeah, it's big optionality probably there. That'll bounce there. No, cut right through. So stopped out. 12-cent loss. Gee, didn't work.
Yeah, because you just had that. Man, that was a lot of momentum in that move, huh? From they took that thing out to the woodshed. They got it under 12, and then that was a little. It's not really a gap here, but man, oh man, was that nice. 1219, 1203 high. The following day, 1203 low. They undercut it by just a little bit, 1195, and now you're bouncing. I mean, I was thinking about this thing just as a little scalp it, if the 12 weeklies got cheap, but by the time I looked at it during the at the close show, it was already off the low at like 12 and a quarter. But let's see if what they decide to do with that reverse split.
All right.
Decision.
It is 8:32. Let's bring on our guest. Let's bring on our guest right now. Markus Heitkoetter, founder of Rockwell Trading, did not join us last week, so we have 2 weeks worth of activity to catch up on. Markus, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
I don't know. How's it going for you?
Crazy markets, right?
Yeah, how's it going for you?
Well, it's super interesting. I mean, with the strategy that I'm pursuing, you want to see a sideways market or a market that is slightly going up. So a market that is actually correcting in the NASDAQ, in correction territory around 10%, that is actually hitting my portfolio. So I'll show you this morning what is going on. And, you talked all morning about buying the dip. And ultimately, this is pretty much what I'm trying to do with this strategy. And buying the dip works well until it doesn't, right? So let's talk about a few positions and what I'm doing here, if that's okay, if I can share my screen. So just a high level, the strategy that I'm pursuing here is, first of all, I'm selling puts and collect premium. And this is where, if the stock stays above the strike price, I'm just collecting the premium and all is good. However, if the stock dips below the strike price, I might or might not get assigned, right? And this is where I'm basically buying the dip. This is what I like to do here as well. And usually, especially in this market, I mean, you just said it usually works out really, really well. And then after I own the stock, I sell calls to collect more premium. So let's take a look at a few examples that worked, and then also a few things where it didn't work, right? So here, this one that I traded this week, Dick's Sporting Goods. This is where I sold a put at the 66 strike price. So you see, I tried to identify short-term, sometimes longer-term support and say, at what level would I be comfortable owning this stock? And Dick's Sporting Good, I said, okay, a strike price of 66 looks good. Expiration today, we see that Dick's is trading at 73.70, also pre-market right at this level. So this is probably expiring worthless. and I keep the premium. Another one that I liked buying the dip here is Snap. And for Snap, I saw some longer term support of 49. So I sold the 49 put. This morning, it seems that we are staying, or today, that we are staying well above 49. I mean, we don't know, right? I mean, anything can happen between now and this afternoon. But this year also, I would just collect premium. Now, what else? Mara. Yes, I decided to trade a crazy stock like Mara. Identified some longer term support here at 20. I wanted to go as low as 16, 17, and then I said, no, I mean, I'm fine here owning Mara, which is basically tied to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or Ethereum. So as long as the cryptocurrencies are going up, Mara will do well. And if the cryptocurrencies take a dip, I wouldn't mind buying Bitcoin at, this would be the equivalent of buying Bitcoin at a level of maybe around $27,000, $28,000. Anyhow, this is also expiring. It's expiring next week, so we should be good here. Now, a few trades that did not work out that well is the gold miners, for example. So the gold miners, I saw here, if you zoom out a little bit, I saw that there was some good support at 48. And this is where I thought, you know what, I'll buy that dip. So I sold premium and then I got assigned at 48. So I have been owning GDXJ for the past few weeks. And this is where he said, yeah, last week I was not able to join you. But I own GDXJ now for a few weeks. Now, the good thing is I've been able to sell calls against it and attract more premium. Now, the calls that I sold is 48. So if GDXJ goes above 48, I'm cutting it loose. So we will see what happens today. Right now, we are slightly down pre-market here. And again, I might sell some more premium for next week. Now, Apple is one of the stocks that where it didn't work, right? I was a little bit too aggressive. If you look at Apple here, you see, compare this to Snap, where I looked at some longer term support here at 49, or even DKS, Dick's Sporting Good, where I looked at the 66. So for Apple, I was a little bit more aggressive because I was a little bit more bullish on Apple. So I sold a strike price of 133. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It was one of the trades that I did when I was bored out of my mind because I was trapped in Florida, remember? So not a good idea. And it's hurting me right now. So this is where the open P&L right now is ugly. And this is too far away from the strike price for me to sell calls. And this is where one of my students really put it very eloquently. So Apple right now is a dud in my portfolio. Apple is like the lazy boyfriend sitting on the couch playing Xbox, where he should go out and get a job, bring in some money. So this is what Apple does right now for me. Anyhow, but this week I sold a few more puts because I thought, okay, if Apple really goes down to 113, which I think is a better support level, I will buy more Apple, and therefore I would reduce my cost basis, right? Because if I bought shares at 133 and now I'm buying some more shares at 113, let me just mark it here on the chart. It would lower my cost basis. However, I was able to close that one already yesterday because it made some good money. This was a put that expired today. Now, the one that is really in trouble, especially right now after we just heard, I actually bought Ride. So I was kind of bullish on Ride. And right now with the news, with the breaking news that came just out.
Oh, Marcus, I'm sorry. If I had known, I would have.
So this is where here, I need to probably start a forum. So if you're with me, talk this up. So help me out here. Now, okay. So Ride, again, this is a little bit more aggressive trade that I did based on my research that I did a few weeks ago. I thought it was a solid company, and I think I wasn't the only one. They were supposed to produce the truck this year, releasing it probably in September, way ahead of Ford and Tesla, who are supposed to releasing their pickup truck next year. So, and I, in general, like the idea of having an electric car maker in my portfolio, but I did not want to go for Tesla. Now, over the past few weeks, I also sold puts on NIO. So I've been doing this, but right now I don't have any positions in NIO. But, so I was a little bit more aggressive sold the 2150 strike because I thought, yeah, let's buy the dip. And I didn't want to buy the dip when it went all the way down here. Well, hindsight, right? I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Aren't we all the best traders in hindsight when we see, oh, here's what we should have done? Anyhow, so I bought it at 2150. I've been able to sell premium against it, but right now, as you see pre-market after the report, it's trading at $15. So this is where I probably have to fly a rescue mission. And this is what I mean by flying a rescue mission. I want to identify the next level of support. And when I'm looking here at the chart, it seems that we have some more support, probably at around 13. So the support level of 13, maybe around 12, so 12 to 13. What my plan is here, because at this point, I must... Honestly, after I saw the Hindenburg report that came out this morning, I read through it. I want to get out of this one. So at this point, I need to lower my cost basis so that a little pop higher would actually help me. So here's what I'm planning to do. And I'll see once the market's open and we settle in here a little bit of what to do. So right now, I have 4,700 shares at 2150. So I'm planning, since now I have a much lower strike price here, to probably sell more. So the idea would be of maybe selling around 6,500 shares. I'll see. I need to do the math. I'm doing the math here on the fly, which is probably not a good idea. But if I would sell this at 13, and let's say that I'm getting assigned. So I would own 4,700 shares. Let's just do the math here to see what my cost basis would be in this case. So 4,700 times 2150. And if I'm selling this and if I'm getting assigned, this would be 6,500 at 13. So this is 185,000 divided by, what is 4,700 and 6,500? Like 10,000, 11,200. Does that sound about right?
What percentage of your portfolio are you comfortable holding in one stock? I just want to get to the question of diverse. Do you try to stay still? Do you try to stay diverse in your portfolio, or do you get heavy in one stock when you start getting down? I'm just curious, because obviously you're adding to a loser here, which is, sometimes, a very serious. It works great when the stocks bounce back. When they don't bounce back, are you comfortable holding $200,000 worth of ride?
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you got multi-million-dollar portfolios.
It's not the ideal scenario. Obviously, but the average cost would probably be down at around 1,650. And looking at this,
what if ride went to $5? What would happen?
Huh?
What if ride? Let's just say this just didn't work out. The Lordstown story just didn't work out, and ride went to $5.
I'm taking a big hit.
You're taking a big hit.
I'm taking a big hit because at some point, if you see, when it was a SPAC here, it was trading at around $10, right? Yeah. So, at this point, sure, this is where my hope is that we don't go below $10. And hope is the last thing that dies for us as traders, right? We gotta have some hope. But if we do this, if this goes down, then this will look bad. Now, they also report earnings, and the earnings will be reported here on, let's see, March 16th. So this is coming up next week. And I think this is kind of moment of truth, right? This morning, Hindenburg reported that they are overinflating their numbers. So I think we will know more exactly next week of what's happening here. I just feel that I have a better chance of getting out here at 1650 than right now trying to go out at 2150. I will hold this for a long time. So with this strategy, again, it works until it doesn't.
So is it a scratch?
Do you stop out?
Yeah, is it a scratch at 1650, Marcus? Is it a scratch, or are you going to make some money?
It would be no, it's not really a scratch because I already collected premium, right? So I would have to use the average cost minus the collected premium that I have thus far. So I collected premium when I sold the puts. I collected premium when I sold some calls. So I have to back this down. And as far as I remember, I collected like $1.50. So this would reduce my cost basis basically to $15. And at $15, it would be a scratch trade. So at this point, I would be out of there. But you see, this where at some point, especially when news like this hit, when you say, okay, it's almost like this. It reminds me of the Luckin Coffee. Remember this story where they had all this fabricated orders and everything, or the fabricated sales, the Starbucks of China. So this where at this point, it's time to cut this loose, unless... Because Hindenburg, they're pretty good in their research. I mean,
what would you use?
They wouldn't put out this report if it is just on a hunt.
They've been wrong though too.
Yeah, they have been.
Hindenburg to the ENPH, Spencer?
Yeah.
So they've been wrong before too. They're not always right. So I wouldn't be not telling you what to do, but I don't think we can just look at their research and just say they're always right. Spencer, didn't they do ENPH before?
I can just give you a few.
It was one of the short sellers.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure it was Hindenburg.
I think it was Hindenburg.
I'm going through the list here.
ENPH, just Marcus, that was when the ENPH was like $50, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
But I would also point your attention to Hindenburg came out against Nikola, and it's kind of it's the same space, right? Same sandbox. So they have a track record with these EV names.
Yeah.
They've also come out against GrowGen. That was back in August. They came out against IDEX in June. They came out against Sorrento. They've come out against, I'm just going through the list here in Benzinga Pro, Smile Direct Club.
What's going to happen, though, with this? And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just saying theorize. Nobody knows. But at some point today, the company's going to come out and say, that's not true.
They do. And then you get a little
so that's going to be your pop. So Marcus, maybe get some orders out there, 16 and a half, 17, and maybe, and then they'll pop it on that. And then, it'll be a big battle. And then everyone that bought it at a discount will be dumping it. So I don't know. That's just a possible. I don't think you're going to see scratch on this at 1772, but the company's going to, they always come out and say something and you get the little pop. And then what happens after that is to be determined. That's just a little speculation.
See, you're absolutely right. And for me, the most important thing is that I start having a plan for this. So for me, I don't want to react. I want to plan. And here's the other thing. If I'm selling shares at 13, if I'm selling puts at 13 and it doesn't close below 13, I will never get assigned these shares. I'll just collect more premium. Now, collecting premium will help me to bring down my cost basis of 2150. So again, this is right now my thoughts after seeing this Hindenburg report here. But I think especially when you're buying the dip, and you said it yesterday, you bought GE. At some point, you have to say, well, okay, that didn't work, right? They announced the reverse stock split, which is super surprising, right? I mean, reverse stock split is usually announced by companies who want to avoid delisting. But GE, they're still trading at 1250, or where are they this morning? Like 1232. So it's not really that they're running the danger of being delisted. So
it's like such a weak move by them. Don't you think, Dennis?
No, I don't understand it. It's just a dumb move. It's not even weak. It's just dumb. I don't understand. But obviously, board has just recommended it, so we don't know if it's going to go through yet. You were saying yesterday, I agree with you. I think that they might pull it, that they might not do it, and then the stock would pop on it. But board has recommended it, so we don't know what's going to happen there yet if they're actually going to approve it, and we're going to see a reverse split. From a trading perspective, I like trading GE at a higher price, but I don't know why the company would do that. Marcus, so I think everybody's in the chats, I've seen this multiple times, asking you, is there a point where you do say, when you were starting to go there before we cut you off, is there a point on some of these trades where you do say, okay, I got it wrong, and you cut the loss?
Yeah, of course. This were, honestly, if you go back to Ride, so it would be a pretty big hit. But yes, if we are going down to 10 again, so if you're going down to the pre-level when they were still at the SPAC level before they reported earnings twice, and you see, this is why I'm a little bit surprised. They reported earnings twice, and so all of this that they reported previously was wrong, because you see, every time they reported earnings, they had a pop after this, and that's something that you also said, the earnings play, right, where you see a short-term pop. So I guess we will see what happens next week when they report earnings. But if during this time they're coming out and say, we don't have all these pre-orders, and yes, we will not produce the truck this year, it might be next year, then I'm wrong. Can this drop to $10? Yes. Is it unlikely? I believe so. And you see, as traders, that's what we do. We are playing the probabilities. We're playing the odds. I never know what a stock will do, right? I mean,
does.
I have an opinion, and I look at the charts, and I trade what I see, not what I think. And right now, I think that we will still be fine on this one because the news just came out, and the markets are still reacting to this. I mean, we're still trading around 15. So let's see what happens by the end of the day. Not planning to do anything just yet because I want to at least see what happens when the markets open. But yeah, I mean, at some point you have to take your losses, and if you're wrong, you're wrong.
What about your Apple position? You're still working that one though, because you you started talking about it.
Still fine. I mean, Apple.
You wrote an upside calls on it too, right? Like you when you get the sign this, then you turn around and you write the upside calls, which is bringing down your cost basis as well.
Right. The problem is that right now there's not enough premium in the 133 calls for me to be able to sell it. So this is why I said it's kind of the dud. Apple is the only it's the only stock right now in my portfolio. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Apple is the only one not earning money. So it's the boyfriend sitting on the couch playing Xbox and not getting going on against top. But DKS is making some good money. GDXJ, I own the position. I've been able to sell calls against it. The calls already up $714. Mara, I sold the puts, so the puts are making good money here. Yes, I own the position, but I have been able to sell calls against it. So this is making money. So 4 out of the 5 positions are doing it. And Apple, if you just look at it pre-market, I mean, even if you go out until next week, there's absolutely nothing, no premium in the 133. There's right now 11 cents, maybe 14 cents. That's not enough for me to sell premium. So I want to see if Apple has a little bit of higher pop here. And I don't like going out for more than next week because then I'm kind of losing control. I mean, especially with markets like this, you want to stay close. The way how I trade these weekly options is really this week's or next week's expiration. I do not like to go out for 2 to 3 weeks because, hey, in these markets, who knows? Who knows what's happening in these markets in 2 weeks, right? Kind of crazy.
Mark, I just want to ask you, and you kind of alluded to it with that answer, like, psychology, everything's like psychology. So can they, are you going to be able to, or how do you just say, okay, this is a loser, I got stuck on this one? How do you let it not affect, maybe you not be as aggressive in other stocks? Just talk about the psychology.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a good point. Open P&L, right, where you see the unrealized losses. This was invented by somebody who hates traders and is heavily sponsored by the pharma industry to sell an anti-anxiety or antidepressants. I mean, yeah, open P&L is just this. I mean, it's subject to change every single second, right? So therefore, I learned not to pay attention to the open P&L. And this is why I like to look at what did I realize thus far? So thus far realized, which is back in my account, is $52,000. And that's only for the year. Now, there's a huge chunk of unrealized losses, but this can change almost on a daily basis. So how do you deal with this? Well, first of all, this is a $500,000 account. So $25,000 here in unrealized P&L is only 5%. I mean, it looks big, it looks huge, but it's only 5%. And trust me, over the past 2 weeks, there are accounts out there that took a much bigger hit than 5%. So if I would sell everything right now, if I would close every single position, I'm still up $6,000 for the year. Now, I'm not planning to do this at all, but it's important to put this into perspective. And then, yes, the other thing is greed, right? I mean, we can't be greedy. And looking back at the charts, if I look at what worked out, like DKS, like Mara, even GDXJ worked out. It's down slightly. Snap worked out. And if I then look at Apple and I was more greedy here. And this is what the markets do. The markets punish you for being greedy, right? I mean, got to stay conservative. And so it is what it is.
Markus Heitkoetter is the founder of Rockwell Trading. Markus, we always appreciate your candor. We'll have to check back in and see how this works out for you.
Absolutely. We'll do this next
Thanks, Markus.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
All right. Sorry, Markus, cut you off there at the end.
You gotta love Markus, though. He's
hey.
so and his voice is so calming. And he's got a plan. That's one thing, he's got a plan. So that's what you need.
Yeah. Okay. Rick Rubin tweeted at me. He wants to get your guys' thoughts on Lam Research, LRCX.
A long time since I've looked at Lam. It's been a monster stock. Man. $535 here now. You know what the problem here is? It's just it's had such a run. And it's like, could this correct more or could it continue? I mean, here's a stock that just since November has run from 400 to 600. The November run, really, when you analyze it, that's where a lot of the fluff is. That's where the Tesla fluff came out. You can say the April run to November run was like, okay, we're eventually getting back, and then obviously we had the tech, everybody moving into tech. But now you've had, this, you had this ridiculous run November, December, January, February, where you really fluffed up all the stocks. I feel like it's like the fluff that the market wants to get back. We get back to these November levels on some stocks, I think you're going to find buyers all over the place. I mean, even the Qs. The Qs got back to their November levels. And that's because obviously big mega cap never had the fluff run that a lot of the smaller stuff did. But a lot of the smaller stuff, some of it hasn't. Lam Research hasn't. I love Lam Research down at $400. It's just got some fluff in here right now, though. And now you got a battle between the bulls and the bears, 500 to 600. It's a fantastic company. It does, it's still got a 1% dividend too. It's just had such a run. I'd like more of a pullback to strike, but it's down $7 here today. I see what you're looking at. You got a $500 level support there too. I would love it at 400. I don't think it gets there anytime soon though.
Okay. I hope that answered your question, Rick. I'm sorry it took us a couple days to get to it. All right. Jason Raznick is here. Good morning, sir. Oh no, he's on mute. Let me go over there and help him out. Someone else talk while I go help Jason.
Okay. All right. S&P's got to mid-range on the session. That was 28.50. Still looking at the March contract. It got up there, 28.50. Daily pivot there. Pulled back a little bit. So that's where your 7 o'clock run ended. The number I'm looking at on the upside, it's not the close, is not the high of the pre-market session. It's the close from yesterday. That is at 36.75. On the downside here, man, oh man, 10.25. That looks like a little ways away. That stands as your pre-market low. We were talking
what
about
up? Can you hear me, Joe?
We got you. What's up, Jason?
Wonderful, wonderful. I look lost, but now I'm found. This is amazing.
What's going on, buddy? How's the trading going?
Oh my God. It's been a profitable week. It's been nice. It's been coming back. Why is Rohan calling me when I'm going live? So how about for you guys?
Out there this week, actually, I had my first losing day of the year. So on the day that everybody was making money, I was on the opposite side of it. So obviously you got to do some adjusting and stuff. But but it's been an okay week. It's been still fairly consistent.
So some of the ones that really turned for me, well, obviously Tesla turned for me. I had calls and puts, but I had more calls than puts. So I had a hedge. My puts are down on it. I actually sold a couple puts too, but my calls. So Tesla made a heck of a difference for me. The other one, I gotta pull up my account right now. Obviously, last week I lost a lot.
Let's talk about Tesla for a second here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's a great level down there. 2 monthly lows at 540, right? And you got to pop. I'm getting a little concerned about 700 here. And 720, you got a pair of highs. Yesterday's high was 702.50. I just kind of feeling like if this thing doesn't reclaim 700 pretty soon, I think you're going to have some problems here. I think you're going to see this thing back in the lower 600s, or you're just looking for this to go 700 bid and then get back to 750, 800. I'm a little concerned here.
I'm looking for 715, 720. I have 4 calls left and I have 1 put left. I will at 715, 720. I will cover 2 of those calls. There are some upcoming catalysts. The Cybertruck is going to be the best car on the road in my mind. It's going to be so. I mean,
did they change the look of it? I wanted to buy that Cybertruck, and then when they originally came out with the concept of it, I was like, it's ugly. So have they changed to make it look a little bit better? I want to buy that.
These chatters are awesome. Can I just read one of them? Raz wearing black for Tesla's funeral. Blacked out for Tesla's funeral. It's good. That's good. I like it.
The Tesla's bounced back nicely though.
Yeah, it's so anyway, they've not really changed the look. They made the modifications smaller, Dennis, so it can fit in your car in your garage. That's the main thing. But I just recently took a ride with someone, 25 minutes in his car, driving on the hardest streets of Michigan, this lake, Orchard Lake, where it's all curvy. He didn't touch the wheel one time. So to turn, to go straight, to go left, he didn't touch the wheel one time in a 25-minute drive.
That was in a Cybertruck?
No, in a regular. No. That's just the full BSD. That
is a tricky area up there. You always feel like you're going to go right into Pine Lake.
So tricky. You could feel like you're going right into Pine Lake. Exactly. That's no hands there, dude. Turning onto Orchard Lake, no hands, nothing.
I have trouble just driving with hands on that.
That's the thing. That's the point. It's safer not to use hands. That's the point, right, Joel?
Especially when
you're too close to the right. You're too close to the right.
I mean, they should have bigger pillars over there. So, yeah. All right, but let's move on to a couple other ones. Upwork came back with a bang. I bought some Upwork last week or whatever at 42. It's at 49. So that's one of the ones I still have been playing. Save, SAVE. It really didn't do much last week, Dennis, but I've been a big investor in Spirit Airlines. I was down 20%. Now I'm up 45%. So that was another one. And, I trimmed some of my positions. Like there's a stock ENG that I gave a lot of people. It went up 40% yesterday. Well, guess what? I was out of it. I sold it during the malaise of the market. So I missed that rally yesterday. I hate when I do that, when I indiscriminately sell stocks because I wanted to get off margin. Sold that ENG and it went up 40% yesterday.
You didn't get it. Yeah.
Why'd you get out?
Why'd I get out? Because I was just trying to get out of some of the stocks. Like I got out of CLSK, LTHM. I used to have a ton of it. I got out of a ton of it at 24. I got out of a lot of stuff to reduce margin and to buy some of these other stocks that I've told you about. But they're a little bit less liquid. It's a stable company, but it's less liquid. It's not one for trading. That BTN that I'm in, that sounds like Big Ten Network. They do
30 tip off today.
Is that what time it's at?
Versus Spencer's team.
Yeah, ENG had a hell of a close yesterday. Yep. So it's not just So you're not going to win them all. I should have stayed. Oh yeah, and I should have stayed with Spirit Aerospace. Dennis, you remember this? Instead of buying Spirit Airlines, I bought Spirit Aerospace by accident first, and I realized it, Dennis, on the PreMarket Prep show. That I bought the wrong one. Well, the moral of the story is I should have kept both. And so you guys are right. I should not have sold it. But yes, I'm in KMPH. I'm in wait, Jack Hurley crying this. Wait, did ENG close up high or are they saying it went down at the end?
604 now.
Yeah, that's great. So no, he's not crying. AONE, I'm in that. And yes, save I've been talking about. Let's see any other trades I made.
Why AONE? Is this like for Kathy? Like, because this is a big stock.
Kathy,
that's a Kathy pick. I'll go with Kathy. Says.
What about Roadblocks?
SW, I like that one. I bought Roadblocks in the IPO. I'm hanging on to it. I got kids, Joel. I got kids.
Is Josh good on that?
No, Josh. So it's a question. Do I go with Riley or do I go with Josh? Josh absolutely hates Roadblocks. Dad, I hate Roadblocks. It sucks. It's for losers. Now let me be Riley. Daddy, Roadblocks is the best ever. All my friends play it. All my friends. I went with Riley. And so I bought Roadblocks. I put a limited order of $150 during the IPO, and I got it for like $66.
You want to make sure you got done.
Yes, I want to make sure I got done. But the crazy thing is, Mark Andreessen, A1612, he invested at a $5 billion valuation a year and 4 months ago, and now we're like at a $35 billion. So yeah, is it overdone? Maybe. Does it have a lot of prospects? Yes. If you look at Amazon back in the day, could it be like that with this alternative space, this virtual space? Could it be? Sure. They had a lot of losses, but it's also because they spent a shit ton on tech. That may normalize, and I think they can get profitable really quick, and I don't think people understand that. So I think Roadblocks has room to run. But listen, would I much rather bought Roadblocks at $40, guys? Yes. but I bought it at 66.
Is it subscription?
Oh yeah, they have. You can get Roblox subscription dollars. You can buy virtual goods. Oh my God, if I give Riley Roblox dollars, she'll be good for like 2 hours.
Hey, Dennis, you're next. Watch out, man.
All right, let's go.
Dennis will be going to garage sales. To look for
Dennis
toys for his kids.
Dennis is going to those Funko stores, right? He's not going to Roblox.
But all the products are sold out.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're out of luck.
A couple of the new stocks I picked up, I'll tell you. I host with Josh Brown from Fast Money. I host a show with him at 3:00 on Fridays on a Clubhouse, and people pitch us ideas. One of the ideas a guy gave us, I bought MGNI. MGNI. It's for connected TV for like the advertising side of things, like and how you monitor it. And there's not that many companies in this space, and connected TV is probably the future. Not like Comcast, but like Roku and all that, and they power a lot of it. So MGNI, I bought Friday. I must have bought it during the show at 3:45, and it is up. It is up 30% this week. So that's a huge winner. And I didn't sell a share of it. What'd you say?
It's a programmatic advertising platform, right? That's what you're saying.
For TV stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't sell.
I know Mitch is all about this stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm banging it back here. I heard Jason mention that. Pub M, also another one.
Yeah, that was the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. But everyone's such a hater.
Gave us this back at $30 and it's 56. So props to Mitch. Another good Mitch pick. He gives us good stocks.
Why is everyone such a hater? Why does everyone criticize so much? Look at this. This guy, I just don't get it. Why everyone's so mean?
You can't read it.
No, but look,
look at all this stuff. I drive myself bananas.
No, but look.
They're really mean to Dennis.
Hold on,
Jason. A lot of people like me though too.
Jasons are usually nice guys. Look at this guy, Jason Kambinski, writes Josh Brown is a clown. Okay. He's a family man, works hard, goes on things, but he's a clown? Okay.
He's hilarious. He kills me every time.
I know, but I take offense to that. I don't know why people have to be such trolls and be rude, so rude because you're behind a computer screen. It pisses me off. Anyway, this trolls. Okay, so then there was one more stock that I purchased. Not much of a gainer, or two more stocks. This one I bought I wanted some high-end hotels, okay? And I couldn't really find them. So the one I did buy so far is Wynn, WYNN. It's just up 1% since I bought it. I didn't buy a big position. It's a small position. I may buy more. Travel is going to heat up like crazy. I bet you my Spirit Airlines pick will be up 80%. It's up 40. I may even buy even more of that. So that one. So Wynn is one of them.
Did you ever re-engage in Delta? I think about that all the time.
Oh my God! You should think about other things, but no.
Think about other things.
That was a good. Yeah, that was a good call, man.
You're right. I should engage in Delta. Yeah, Pavel, MGNI, PE is high. I get it. It's probably
50 in Delta. Holy macro! You talk about a level of levels. Dennis, man, you should
Delta.
check the book on that 50.
That's a big number.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Raz. Go ahead.
Yeah. So then, no, you're okay, man. And the other stock that I picked up was another metal stock, AQMS. Was up 20% this week. This is metal recycling, metals, for batteries. I've been talking to a lot of the battery guys, a lot of the metal guys. I met a guy in Michigan who works at one of the top battery companies for electric cars. It's funded by Tony. I forget his last name, but he started Nest and then Apple bought it. And he was giving me all my battery technology. I'm learning more about graphene and lithium and nickel and recycling. So I bought that AQMS as well. I used to own it a long time ago. Yes, I still own RKT. So Angry Jack, if you ask me in 4 months, do I still own RKT? The answer is yes. It's a different position for me. It's not a position like that I'm recommending for you guys to go trade. It's not that. Did I sell?
Were you tempted?
Oh no.
Move?
I sold some. Some. So let's say I'll give you the number. Say I have 6,000 shares of RKT. I sold, say, 1,500. No, that's a lie. I sold 1,000. I sold 1,000 shares of RKT between like 35 and 40. I sold some at 41, some at 42, but majority between 30 and 40. So should I have sold a lot more? Sure. Was there a chance that it could have went to 50 the next day? Yeah. pigs get slaughtered. That I was trying to be a pig. What do you want me to tell you? That's it.
A hell of a move. I mean, it was a great call by you to be in it this long, and obviously a lot of people made a lot of money on the RKT. I have a small position in it that I just picked up, but
yeah, it's up now, like in a decent way. I bought it at 18, Joel. I bought a lot of shares. It was my biggest position. It was my biggest position that I've ever purchased in my life. If we were just like doing position sizings, I do a small, medium, large is how I do it now, and then I have a small, medium, large, extra large, and then super size. I bought a super size position of RKT when it went public. Okay. I've slowly trimmed a little bit to free up cash for other things. And so in the 30, I mean, I could have sold it all. And so long term, I want the dividend. Long term, I'm just going to own it and not sell. I mean, to be honest, guys, in this market dip last week, Dennis, there's a good argument to say, Joel, that I shouldn't have sold any of the stocks that I sold. And, every dip's been a buying opportunity so far. And do you guys know what's going on right now with the stimulus? Because I'm gonna floor you right now. It'll take me 30 seconds. You want to be floored?
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought we were all getting our checks this weekend. That's what they said.
Your checks, Spencer. You don't get it, man. You're like so out of this baseball field that you're like in a football field.
I'm out of my depth. Tell me.
I learned about this last night.
All right.
I have a friend that owns 3 restaurants here in Detroit. He's getting a check from Biden or from the government. How much money do you think he's going to get? He owns 3 restaurants.
I know that restaurants are one of the big winners of this package, but I don't have a number.
150 grand.
Yeah, it's a decent guess. That's fair. What do you think, guys? You want to guess? You don't have to guess.
I have no idea.
Okay, I said 100. I don't know.
100 grand. So just to put it in perspective. If a restaurant gets $1 million in sales, then they usually keep 80,000 of that. So if you have $1 million in sales, 60% goes to the food, so that's 600,000. 200,000 goes to the staff, so that's 200,000 left over. Then there's taxes, so the restaurant owner ends up with about 80,000.
Okay,
that's not happening with this stimulus. You guys are gonna shit your.
What is the number?
Okay.
Oh, it's 12 million.
What?
Yep. 12 million. No one's even talking about it. If Trump did this, it'd be he'd kill it. Whatever. But
what
12 million. He's getting $12 million. And guess what? Got more to tell you guys. Tax free, no taxes. So his restaurant had $5 million in last sales. So they're able to go to the government and say instead of claiming that the profitability part, the 80,000, they get to claim all of it. So if it's a small restaurant that can claim $1 million in sales, they're going to get a check for $1 million tax free, not the 80,000 that they would get. So if a restaurant had $1 million less in sales, then the government should say, okay, you're a restaurant, so 20% goes to you guys. Here's 200,000. Instead, they're taking numbers. They're taking. Yeah. I have the whole document in front of me. I get attorney sent it to me because it was so unbelievable. So he has 3 restaurants. He's getting 5, and 2 for this third one. $12 million check, tax free that he can keep. It's not for employees. It's for him. And whatever, and it has to be used for supposedly expenses.
So that is a fact. It looks like if you have multiple locations, you can get up to $10 million. And if you have
multiple restaurants, you can't have more than 20 or public stocks. So the first reaction I had last night when I heard this is, okay, what public stocks are we buying? Well, because they don't want to go with what Trump went through, it can't be public stocks,
right?
And it can't be more than 20.
Okay, so that makes some sense because every day I learn of a new restaurant that closed near us. So, granted up to $5 million for one if you have one location, up to $10 million if you have multiple locations.
But you got to pay this money back, don't you? Like, don't they have to pay this back?
No,
it's not just. This is just free money.
Free money, and it's even better, Dennis. I really shouldn't say this on this show. But even better, you guys, who wants a business idea on the show? Maybe people are going to quit Benzinga, but I'll tell you, I really wasn't supposed to publicly say this. What, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Go in your local community. So Dennis in Toronto, wherever you are, go in your local community, find restaurants that closed up.
Toronto.
Try to buy. Spencer, just joking, okay? Toronto's just Canada, okay? It's just my unit.
Don't mention my restaurants to Dennis.
Yeah, I already own a restaurant.
Wait. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Go ahead, Raz.
I'm giving you gold here, guys. I'm fucking giving you gold. Oh, sorry, Joel. Oh my God, I'm going. Oh my God, this is crazy. I am sorry. I am sorry.
Do that on
I am
purpose.
sorry. I did not do that on
House and
purpose.
wash your mouth out with soap.
I'm sorry. I did not do that on
Telling
purpose.
your
That
mom and your
Okay.
dad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to spit it out as my friend Q Insider said. Go find restaurants that closed up, try to buy them, and then then go to the government and say, okay, they had $2 million less in sales. Get your check from the government for $2 million. That'll give your money to buy the restaurant and keep it open. There you go.
If you have the capital,
You don't need the capital, Spencer. The government's going to give it to you. It's free money.
Well, if you gotta be able to buy the restaurant though, right? I mean,
you tell the restaurant, no, I'll pay you in 6 months.
Jason, you can't be given this gold. That might be
$10,000 deposit. The restaurant already closed up, Spencer. So now it's just the landlord left, and so you gotta. I know a guy who's buying 2 restaurants here in Detroit right now for that exact thing. He's putting no money up.
One bad tangent before I forget, because you mentioned Orchard Lake, and now you're talking about restaurants. Have you ever been up to Ellen's up on Orchard Lake? Ellen's Bakery, Raz? You ever been there?
I have not.
Great. Oh my gosh, you got to go there. Great salad, lobster crab salad, great bread. It's right near Middle Belt. You got to go up that way.
Raz, can I help us design the Benzinga restaurant menu? Because I have some opinions there.
Okay, so maybe, and there's a restaurant that's for sale in Detroit right now. It was called Republic. Went out of business, and if I get off my lazy butt, I'll go try to buy it and get $3 million from the government, and then there's nothing really it's free. It's free money. I'm just telling you, go read the restaurant language. There are restaurant owners, multiple in your city, that are going to get millions of dollars that probably won't even fully reopen. Because, again, let me just finish. $1 million in sales at a restaurant is $80,000 to the restaurant owner. Instead, the government's giving them a full $1 million, and there's no cost. There's no food cost. There's nothing. Like, they should have reduced it by that and made it the profit, and it's tax-free. So you're going to see a lot of people who own restaurants have huge money coming in, which you'll be able to spend on your local economy and the stock market. No one's talking about it, but it is truth. It's reality. That's it. I'm not even complaining. I'm just saying there's a windfall happening for restaurant owners, maybe deservedly so, but I wish it went to more employees. That's what I wish. That's the stuff. I don't think that's fair. The owner's guy says, "Oh, it gives us money to pay our employees," but I would rather that 12 million be 12 million and save 70% for the management and then 30% or something like that. I don't know. Okay.
I want us to offer fresh, short squeezed orange juice. We can offer stuffed closing bell peppers. I've got a few other thoughts. I've got some food related stock market puns.
Maryland crab cakes.
I've got several stock market food puns that I'm going to save for our menu for the inevitable Benzinga restaurant.
Jason, these are not things that have to be paid back. It's grants. I don't even know why when I'm telling you guys facts, it's not stuff to argue about. These are facts. There's not debatable. So these are facts. Okay, prove me wrong, then tweet to me and tell me I'm wrong. But as of now, these are facts. Guys, thanks for checking me out. I'm Jason Raznick on Twitter. If you have an E-Trade or Schwab account, recommend Benzinga. Send me an email to powerhour@benzinga.com with your name in town and size if you wish to opine, as Bill O'Reilly used to say. But recommend us to E-Trade or Schwab. Send me an email, powerhour@benzinga.com, and we'll send you some Benzinga swag. Just need your name and size in town. Thank you very much for having me on. And that guy, Jason Kilbasas, who was ripping on Josh Brown, I'm still angry at you. Don't do that again.
All right,
Jason. That'll be on the next segment.
Jason never forgets. All right, that's going to be a wrap.
I gotta go.
Here. Yeah, all right. Dennis is gone. Joel's about to leave. Please remember, all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. It's up on the screen right there. You can catch this show. The replay of the show is on YouTube or available via podcast. Please remember that you can watch our show on Spotify, on Soundcloud, on Stitcher, on iTunes, on Google, on all the major podcast platforms. Once again, today's show is sponsored by Rockwell Trading. Trade what you see, not what you think. To learn more, go to rockwelltrading.com/Benzinga. That link is up now on our screen. Don't forget to smash that like button, please, and thank you. Without likes, we don't eat. We need those likes to keep the lights on. Likes for lights.
We're just going to buy a restaurant. Call it PreMarket Prep Restaurant.
Yeah, hey, I've got several more stock market food puns that I'm not going to spoil all in one sitting. and I'll spend the rest of the morning thinking of more. But I'm excited now for the inevitable Benzinga restaurant. Guys, Get Technical is up next. I think Neil has already gone live, so I'm gonna hop off this stream, send you over to Get Technical. We've got some TA, some charts. Joel, I will see you at 3:30 for pre-market prep at the close.
I hope I'm in a good mood, Spencer.
For the uninitiated, Joel and I are going head to head today at 11:30. Michigan versus Maryland. Loser is fired.
Should I tweet it?
I thought you said it was at 7:30.
11:30.
God,
11:30.
I didn't understand you, Mr. Elconin. You must
11:30. Do you guys want to know Michigan strategy?
Why the hell not? Sure.
Okay. Eli Brooks is probably not going to play, right?
Okay.
He's going to start Shondy Brown, right?
Okay.
If he is not going to be hitting threes, you pull him, you put in Brandon Johns, so you go 7'2", 6'10", 6'9", and 6'8". No one can beat that lineup in the country. Go big. Go big or go home.
All right. That's it for us.
Check out the Benzinga Instagram. It's getting hot. You guys should check it out. Tiny Pie, nice job. It's getting hot. All right. Peace. We'll watch the game. I'll see you, Joel. I'll be at your house in about an hour.
See everyone. I'm gonna get off here and go over to Get Tech.
I love how Spencer leaves and doesn't end the show. Do you see this, Jason?